Hi teacher, my name is Juan Araiza. This is my personal philosophy. And in order to start developing this presentation, I'm gonna I'm gonna start with saying the meaning of philosophy. And I read a few meanings of the concept of philosophy in order to build my own one. And I can say that philosophy is the science that is responsible to answer the questions about the mysteries around men. Those questions can be like the beginning of the universe, the origin of man as a being, or the meaning of life, and all those kind of questions that need a little bit more of analysis and an open mind in order to answer it. And yeah, or maybe speaking in a more friendly meaning, I can say that philosophy is the science that study the principles of reality, of knowledge, of values, and actions, human actions, as and its reasons. So yeah, basically that is the meaning of philosophy. And during the semester, we saw the four branches of philosophy, which are metaphysics, ethics, epistemology, and aesthetics. And the first one, which is metaphysics. Here I'm going to focus in the area of metaphysics that studies the reality, that analyze the reality. And here I honestly think that there is just the real world. There is just one world or one reality, and that we should be just trying to very hard to be something and to be someone in this world, adapting ourselves to how things work in this reality, because we cannot aspire to the ideal world, as Plato used to say, or the ideal world forms, as he mentioned it, because if we just aspire to that world and the others don't, we're not going to make it in life. So we have to adapt to how things work. So basically, I agree with what Aristotle said, that we have to focus in the real world, or as he mentioned it, in the physical world, right? And I agree with him in this part where he said the four causes of things, because I think that everyone and everything is here for a reason and for a purpose in life. Maybe once, maybe for a bigger world changing impact, in others maybe for a smaller impact, like in someone else's life, which actually isn't that bad. So yeah, that's my thoughts on metaphysics. And the next one is ethics. And here actually it wasn't difficult or even a challenge to see what philosopher I agree with, because the thoughts of the majority of the philosophers wasn't of my way of being. For example, with Buddha, who says that the suffering is the way to everything or the key to everything. I don't think so. I don't think that we're supposed to suffer in order to learn or in order to be better, or in the utilitarianism that basically says that the ends justifies the means. And the reason why I don't agree with this is because I see it as a very selfish way to justify your actions, because you're just thinking about yourself and not the others at all. And that pattern repeats with every single philosopher, but not with Kant, because personally, I always am looking for my happiness. I even try to get away about things that I think are going to make me unhappy. For example, when I'm in a discussion with someone, with anyone, I always go away because that doesn't make me happy. Of course, that after a while I always fix the things, but at the moment it doesn't make me happy, so I just go away. And yeah, so I totally agree with Kant in ethics in this area of philosophy. Then is epistemology, and here again I'm going to agree with what Aristotle said, because that is what I personally think about knowledge, that we all are born with nothing, I mean no knowledge at all, and even without the capacity of thinking, and that we learn all that we experience and just experience. So what I'm saying is that I don't believe that we born with all the knowledge and that we have to find it, because I think that that is a very wrong statement, because at least in my case, all the things that for example I know them because somebody else taught me, or because I taught me myself, because that is how things work. Also, what Hume did, I see it as a very correct way to see things, because as humans, we are always trying to relate the unknown to what we do know in order to be easier to understand it. We always are trying to assimilate to what is easy for us. So I like both statements. In aesthetics, I think is where I know the less, because I really don't know a lot about art. But what I do think is that art is something that is meant to be, because art is supposed to transmit something, a feeling or a message. And if you do art without wanting to do it, basically you are not transmitting nothing, or and you're just doing whatever. And if you like it, well, it's art. When and that's not art, because it has no feelings to transmit or even a message of something. So I think that it's very important to be careful about what we consider art, because there are pieces of art that might even not be it, and also and people start to earn money for it. So when it doesn't even is good. So yeah, art is just art when it's supposed to be. To conclude, I would like to mention that a time ago I used to think that in some cases, not to mention that always, then justify the means, because I was truly believer that if you have a dream or a goal, and then you should definitely go for it. But as I start to grow up and to mature, I realized that not always is like that, because, for example, this is something very common in sports, where a lot of athletes, in order to win a championship or just a regular match, they cheat. Which, if you apply this moral rule, of course, that is not right, because when they cheat, they are cheating, and it's not fair. So I started to change the way I look things, and as we saw in ethics during the semester, sometimes we just have to be happy, and that's it. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and bye.